Star Wars only. I don't know what the fuck your problem is.
Well, my friends, it's been 2 years since The Last Jedi, and I feel like it came out yesterday because we're still talking about it and debating it constantly. I can't not hear The Last Jedi sucked or something like that every day. And I didn't like The Last Jedi. I feel like I'm one of the most vocal critics of the film since before it even came out. That's one thing that have always annoyed me is that you have YouTubers that are in Star Wars who are like, "Oh, I was the first YouTuber to say I didn't like the Last Jedi." Bullshit! I didn't like that bitch from the trailer. All right, I was there at Celebration Orlando 2017, and I remember seeing the trailer as it happened, and everyone around me was like, "Oh my God, Luke's back! Oh, it's gonna be great!" And I was the only one in the audience going, yeah, I don't know, man. That didn't feel right. That just, I don't know. I do not know. And then I remember being at Universal Orlando, little theme park that they have, and I ran into some guy. He was like in his 50s or something like that. We were in line for the Harry Potter ride, and he saw my Star Wars shirt, and I'm a talkative guy, and so we started talking about it, and he was like, "What'd you think about the trailer?" I was like, "I feel like I'm the only person in the world who didn't like the trailer, and I'm not excited for the film that much anymore." And he was like, "Yeah, you know what, man? I'm kind of in the same boat." I was like, "Okay, thank God, brother. I have you." Well, now the film came out 2 years ago on the day. I remember seeing the film when it came out. I think it was December 14th because I went to some fan event for it. And I remember sitting down and being like, I have very low expectations for this film. I even made a video before the film came out saying why I'm not excited for this film. And for some reason, I was more disappointed leaving the film than I was with my anticipation, which was no anticipation going into the film. So it's really odd. It's a very odd feeling movie. I mean, I remember the first thing my friend from high school who I was watching the film with, he looked at me as the film ended and he goes, "That was awful." And I just started laughing. And I remember leaving the mall, and you know how like sometimes you have like a subconscious thought of like you just can't, like, just for a quick second you think it's a reality. For a second I really thought I was having a bad dream. I was like, there's no way the film is that bad. But it was that bad. And it's been 2 years since that really bad film came out. That it was a well-made film, visually beautiful, great cinematography, but the story, the pacing, the structure of it, and the bastardization of my favorite character of all time, Luke Skywalker, still hits home, man. I mean, Ryan, you fucked up Luke. What the hell? And I know people are going to say the sequels are trash. The Force Awakens is a good movie. Okay, I recently watched it, and it was a solid film. I enjoy it for what it is. It set up things for the sequel trilogy, and it was kind of like building up to a climax on the cliff. And Ryan Johnson literally took that anticipation and climax and threw it off the fucking cliff. But with that said, my friends, it's been 2 years. Can we move on? Can we? I mean, there are people who are still making videos about this and complaining about this every day. And I get it in my comment section on YouTube all the time. And I know you're not supposed to read the comments because it's a place of scum and villainy, the likes which you've never seen. And my God, it's just sad. There was someone on Twitter, and I'm pretty confident there's multiple people on Twitter, who were spoiling Ryan Johnson's recent movie Knives Out. And I didn't know why, but one of them was like a Star Wars based account with like George Lucas or some shit. And they spoiled Knives Out on who the person who killed the guy was, like the big twist of the movie and the big reveal of who done it and everything. And I was like, why are you spoiling? If you spoil a movie for anyone, you're a piece of shit anyways. But they were doing it out of protest to The Last Jedi. Their mentality is, I didn't like that film, so I'm not gonna let you enjoy another film that has absolutely nothing to do with the franchise. What a fucking scumbag. If that is your life, you are a pathetic sack of shit who needs to go outside and smoke a joint and just fucking chill. If you are letting one film, The Last Jedi, control your life so much that your mentality is now, I can't let other people enjoy things because Ryan Johnson ruined Star Wars. I've heard that argument, not about Ryan Johnson, but that Star Wars was ruined since 1999, my friends. And if you like the prequels, good for you. I'm going to give you a cookie and a nice pat on the back. Good for you, you like the prequels. They're still bad films compared to the originals. They still don't live up to those stories. And there was still a big backlash towards them where a lot of people said the prequels are dead, they ruined Star Wars, and you're a shill if you like them, and George Lucas is not a saint of a man, he is a devil who destroyed the franchise. I've heard it all before. I've heard it all before. And it's just so ironic seeing history repeat itself where people are acting like The Last Jedi is the worst film that has ever come out. Yet again, I guess it's almost like weird that you have to have credentials of, you got to preface it by saying, I didn't like the film either. But my god, I feel like I got to start up my own Star Wars group. Because you got the fandom menace, you got the Grey Order, whatever, you got the people who like the Disney Star Wars stuff. I feel like I got to create a group called Rational Thinking Humans. Where we go, hey, did you like The Last Jedi? And someone says yes or no. And if they go yes, you're like, oh, well, what'd you like about it? And what didn't you like about it? If they say no, you go, oh, I agree with you. I didn't really like it much either. What else you want to talk about? But no. A lot of these people are like, hey, fuck Lucasfilm, fuck Disney, fuck Kathleen Kennedy, and fuck The Rise of Skywalker because of one film. One film. It is baffling that people are saying, I don't want to see The Rise of Skywalker, and it's going to be a disaster because of The Last Jedi, and because of all the stuff that the internet is telling me to think. Where was this before The Last Jedi? Genuinely, I did not see anyone harping on that film before the film came out. I was the only motherfucker out there saying this is not going to be a good film. I remember making a video called The Worst Week in Star Wars History. It was clickbait, I'll admit. I was a younger lad. I was a younger channel trying to get my views up. And I made a video talking about how Haldo looked like a feminist SJW character that no one's going to like. And people gave me shit in the comments, rightfully so, saying, how can you not like this film before even seeing it? And then what do you know? You know, I like to stroke my ego. Star Wars only was right. Haldo was an awful character. She wasn't a loved character. No one liked her at all. But you didn't see that narrative before the film came out. You didn't see people bashing on the film. You saw everyone going, Snoke is Plagueis, or the little youngling boy that Anakin killed, Rey's a Kenobi, Rey's a Skywalker, Rey's a Solo. They came up with all these theories, and Rian Johnson, for some reason, was like, ha ha ha, fuck those theories. She's nobody. Snoke's gonna die, and absolutely nothing's gonna happen in this film. And Luke Skywalker is a disappointment, a failure to the galaxy, and basically the whole reason this all went to shit. I hated everything about that film. Literally. I mean, I really can't think of... People ask me, hey, what was your favorite part of the film? The ending credits. When it says, written and directed by Rian Johnson, I'm like, aha, I noticed, and then I leave. That was the best part. I've seen the film 3 times in my life. I don't really need to see it anymore. With that said, I don't need to talk about the film every day. I don't need to waste my breath and my time like I'm doing right now, but to be fair, this is a job for me, so I'm making money off it. Thank you. But I don't need to talk about it every day, and harp on it every day, and remind you that I hated The Last Jedi simply because I didn't like The Last Jedi. Believe it or not, people who don't like The Last Jedi, myself included, there are people out there who genuinely like The Last Jedi. And you know what? Good for them. You know how that impacts my life? You want to know how that impacts my... It doesn't! It doesn't fucking matter what people like. It doesn't matter what anyone else's opinion is. I've said it before and I'll say it again. No one gives a fuck about your opinion. And I know you can turn it right around on me and say, well, Star Wars only. No one gives a fuck about your opinion. Well, I got 44,000 people that would beg to differ. But it's been 2 years. Can we move on? Do I need to pay for everyone's therapy? I feel like some of you people genuinely need therapy for this film. I'm over it. I'm done with it. The Last Jedi was a bad film. My rating for it hasn't changed. 3 out of 10. I didn't like it. I don't think I'll ever like it. My opinion isn't going to change in 20 years. I'm not going to look back on The Last Jedi going, you know what, after reviewing it, I really think it was a masterpiece of cinema. No, it was a bad film. End of story. I don't need to continue talking about it. Next year, we're not doing the 3 years after The Last Jedi came out. You notice that we're not doing 4 years after The Force Awakens came out, or 3 years after Rogue One. We're not doing that for any other film but The Last Jedi. You want to know why? Because you put The Last Jedi in the title, and all the haters and all the whiny motherfuckers get in the comments and go, I hate this film. Rian Johnson ruined Star Wars. You know what? You're right. He may have ruined the sequel trilogy, but he didn't ruin Star Wars. If one film ruins 6 other films for you, you need to get a life. You know what I do? I don't like the prequels. I don't really like the sequels. So you know what I do? I watch the original trilogy, and I fucking love it. I love every minute of it. Oh my god, I love watching the original trilogy. And I watched the Clone Wars. I've been rewatching that too. I'm having a great time watching that. That's such a good fucking show. I'm doing the chronological order. I don't know if you've ever done that. It's really fun. I'm replaying the 2005 Battlefront 2. It's so much better than Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 by EA. And you know what? I'm having a good time because I'm not sitting here bitching about everything that I don't like in Star Wars. And instead of bitching about it, I'm going and enjoying my life and doing other things with it. I feel like you guys should go do that. Go smoke some weed. I promise it's going to make you feel not only great, it'll get your mind off The Last Jedi. And now that we're done with this 10-minute rant of The Last Jedi, I just want to say, I did not like The Last Jedi. But who cares what I think? Hope you guys enjoyed this preaching rant of a video on Star Wars only. Let's never talk about The Last Jedi again.